Alright, hi everybody, it's Kayla. So today is Sunday, September 23rd, and I know I recorded a shopping video from yesterday afternoon, but today was extremely eventful, and I guess my weekends will always be a little bit more eventful than any given weekday. But anyways, I had a lot of fun today, meeting a lot of people and seeing a lot of new things, so I wanted to share everything that I did today. So first off, I learned that these are called Custard Fruit. This is the one that Hannah and Michael Cook had suggested, and I learned the proper way to eat it, which I will save for my fruit video that I'm going to do. But anyhow, just wanted to get that out of the way. Then just to describe what I did today. So I woke up at 6 o'clock. I caught the bus at the main gate by 7, which takes me into St. John's Church, which is in the Velour Fort, which I had described has like a moat around it. And it's really cool. So started off by going to the service, and they only do communion on the first and the third Sunday. So today was not a communion day, which communion makes it take almost a half hour longer because of how many people are there. So after I went to the first service, which ended around 8:30, then I was sitting outside and someone walked by and just invited me into the youth fellowship that they do in between, which they just play some songs with it's like juniors and seniors in high school. And they just invited me in, asked who I was, and they asked for me to share a little bit of a testimony. So I talked about prayer and how I feel like the most connected to the Holy Spirit and to Jesus when I'm singing. And so it was really cool because then they received the songbooks that they had custom made. Like one of the girls made the artwork on the front and had all of their favorite hymns on the inside, which was really cool. So then I got to sing with them. And then after that I got yanked out and did Sunday school with primary kids, the ages all the way from 3 until 5th grade. So we sang This Little Light of Mine, and I learned a couple others, and they were doing hand and motions and such, which was really fun. And then they split off by grade, and I hopped in with the 4th graders, and we learned about Noah's Ark and the promise of the rainbow and what the colors mean and such. And then it was funny because the guy who was running it, we had 6 of us there. Noah, Kevin, Inba, Joanna, Nina, and Serene. Those were the kids. And the leader of the group just turns to me, and we had 20 minutes left, and he's like, "Do you have anything we can do?" And I was like, "Oh gosh," right on the spot. And I said, "Well, we usually do this after the kids learn the order of the books of the Bible, but they seem to know kind of how to get through all the books." So I said, when I was little, we always used to do this thing where the teacher would yell out or would say a Bible verse, like 1 John 1:9, and then we would repeat it back, 1 John 1:9, and then the teacher would say, "Go." And whoever could find the verse first and stand up with their Bible got to read the verse in front of the whole class. So immediately the kids got into super competitive mode, and we did 5 to 10 verses, which was really fun. And I think I'm going to go over with them more about the order of them, because a lot of them were looking in index first for the order, but I think it would be really fun also to incorporate, if anyone just knows it off the bat, off the top of their head, helping learn some really nice verses. So anyways, did that. And then I was hanging out afterwards, getting some tea and coffee, and this woman comes up who I had met before in the CMC campus. She was selling some jewelry made by village women who don't have any occupation, and it's just paper beads they make out of newspaper, and she was selling their jewelry, and she said, "Oh, I recognized you from the last service," and this was when I was in CMC, and she said, "When you come again, I'll come say hi." I said, "Great." And so then sure enough, coffee, she came over, and I immediately recognized her. I got introduced to her husband. Her husband's name is Ben, or Benjamin, and then she's Vijay, or Vijay. And I was expecting someone to offer lunch to me. It was about 11:30 by now, and sure enough, they're like, "Do you want to come over and have lunch with us?" I'm like, "Yes, please, I would love to." And they said, "I hope you don't mind, but we always stop at the supermarkets or our different stores that we go to on the way home, so if you don't mind to just accompany us." And I said, "Of course, I would love to see where you go shopping." And it ended up to be such an eventful afternoon, which then ended with getting to eat lunch with them. And I realized that I've only ever eaten at restaurants and like college canteens. I've been brought home to some people's homes and had actual home-cooked meals, but not until today did I get to do that here in India, and I realized how much better home food is. It's so delicious, and some things that you can't get at canteens and such. So anyways, first place we stopped, they were trying to describe it to me, and once they described what the market was to me, I'm like, oh, so it's the Costco of India is basically what you're telling me. So they're a wholesale place, and they'll actually show on the price tag what the MPR is. I think it's the market rupee price, MPR, and then it shows what they actually sell it at. So it's always like 2 or 3 rupees cheaper, which is kind of funny because in the end it's not even like 1%, but it makes everyone feel feel good about themselves. So first place we went was this Costco of Vellore, and I got some good things. So first thing I got, this was dry mango, and I think I figured out the focus. Dry mango, and it's just dry mango powder. The only ingredient is mango, and I'm thinking of putting it in for breakfast. I always have oatmeal, so I'm thinking of just different ways that I can spice it up a little bit. And this, because mango you can't get fresh, I was thinking at minimum if I could get some powdered mango for my oatmeal. I don't know how the best way to display this is. That would be fun to show this. So anyways, this was 44 rupees, and again, this place, it was a little bit cheaper for everything, so I think it was like 38 rupees or so, which is less than 60 cents for this little packet of dry mango. I got some tomato cheese spread. So the wife, VG, she actually was going there specifically for this, but in garlic flavor, because her grandkids really love it. And so she's like, yeah, if you want it, if you want to try it, you can try it. So I always feel bad getting like products that are seen as very American, so like things like just block cheese or like peanut butter and stuff, or jelly. I guess some marmalades are normal, but I always feel a little guilty because I'm like, oh, I'm being too American. But she was getting this for her grandkids, so I thought I'd try as well. And this is 85 rupees, so it's probably about 80, so it's like $1.20 for this. I was thinking putting that in my scrambled eggs to give it like some cheese and tomatoey taste. This is palm candy. Here, let's get to focus. Alright, here, see here? If I tap it, it should be in focus. Maybe it's not working. Palm candy, she said this is a like healthier version of sugar. And everything is funny, all the spices, all the leaves they eat in their food, they're like, oh, it's good for digestion, or good for people with high blood sugar. And they're like, yeah, this is healthy sugar. So I figured I'd get it again to put in some tea or oatmeal and such that I make. So this was 52 rupees, which is like 75 cents. And then I got this, they didn't know what the name of it was, but basically it's pounded rice. It's rice that's been like flattened. And here, if I tap on this, it's just been flattened, and they said if you like soak it in milk and then sprinkle some coconut over it, it's a really good breakfast food. So anything that she suggested I just went with, because I want to be as least American as possible. I don't even know how much that was. Does that say 20 rupees? So like 30 cents. And then I got a couple of just things. This is like a mosquito repellent thing. I've just noticed a couple of mosquitoes and it just bugs me. And so it's like a plug in the wall thing plus the like incense or whatever. So it was 72, I think it was 68, so it's like less than 90 cents for this thing. We'll see how well it works. Got some laundry detergent. I've been using powdered stuff, but it just sometimes doesn't dissolve all the way and I get like weird stains on my clothes. So I was just going to try something different. This is 57 rupees, which is less than 90 cents. And then I got some soaps. I asked Ben what soaps he suggested, and this one is Mysore Sandal soap. So supposedly Mysore is pretty famous for their soaps. That might just be too close altogether. Come on, focus. There we go, Mysore Sandal soap. He's like, if you like the smell of sandalwood, try that. So I got that, and this is like an herbal one. It's like made of like 18 different herbs. So he was just throwing things in my basket, and I wasn't going to object at that point. So after these things, put it up here. After these things, then we stopped, and there was a place that they always get bananas and eggs from. So they're like, yeah, you should get some eggs. So I got a dozen eggs, which was 46 rupees. And then because it's like not an even amount, she threw one more in, and it totaled 50 rupees. So 50 rupees for 13 eggs, so it's 75 cents for 13 eggs, which is like almost less than 5 cents an egg, which is pretty awesome. So I got 13 eggs, and then we went to one more store because VJ was looking for a couple more things. So she loved this whole grain bread, and actually I normally don't eat bread, but she just, she insisted that I get some. So this was 35 rupees, which is like 52 cents for this loaf of bread. Then I got my favorite coconut milk powder. So basically it's like dehydrated coconut milk, and then you just add water to it, and it becomes coconut milk. I know Callie will know this if she's watching this, that I love this. So I was thinking again throwing it into my my oatmeal and also into that pounded rice. It's like cereal for them, so they suggested I put some coconut in it. So I got that, and also some frozen coconut. They were thinking more of this for like shredded coconut to put in. So the coconut milk or the shredded coconut for my rice cereal. Then she showed me this 50% off shelf and 30% off. She basically just goes through there, and if anything she would even remotely buy, she actually buys it. So VG was showing me all the things, and so I found some things myself that I thought I'd like to try. This is just a little snack. It's like some kind of legume that's covered in chili powder, typical Indian. And then I got these were all 50% off. Then I got 2 things of green tea. I have yet to make my own tea, and that was something that I loved doing last time I was in Bangalore. Just like late at night, throwing some honey in with some green tea before bed. So those are both 30% off. Let's see what their price is. $155? Yeah. So 30% off is like 100 rupees, so it's like $1.50 for either of these, and there's 30 tea bags in them. And then I got this free trial thing of green tea. They have a lot of tea. And then this is the best part, I was standing in the peanut butter aisle, not peanut butter aisle, but like the condiments aisle, and very sheepishly like looking to get more peanut butter. And VG comes up and like, oh, let's go, what are you looking for? And I was like, I'm looking for peanut butter. I know this is super American. And she's like, oh, don't get it here. I make my own. It's like, you make your own peanut butter? She's like, yeah, we grind it up. This English woman came over and she taught us how to roast our own peanuts and so on and so forth to make American peanut butter. So she's like, don't buy it. I'll give you some. So I was like, this woman knows how to make peanut butter. Like, my life is going to be so much better now. And also coconut oil. I was looking for coconut oil because I've just been frying my eggs with no oil. And I love it because there's so much coconut oil. If you know like top 10 things about Kayla, one of them is that I love coconut. And they have this this neighbor that makes coconut oil. They just cold press themselves, like fresh, no preservatives, just straight. And when we went, they just had buckets of it. And they just brought their own container, and they just charge you by the milliliter. So this is 150 milliliters, and it was 45 rupees. So it ends up being 300 rupees per liter, which is $4.50, which I'm gonna go and calculate how much it is in the US, but I know that the quality of this, being that it's fresh, no preservatives, completely organic, it's literally a 3-minute bike ride from here. And so I'm just loving the fact that I can start finding all these local places that have like wholesale eggs or like discount prices and stuff, as well as like fresh coconut oil. It literally was in a bucket that she like opened up, and like everything was very sanitary, but you could just tell it's like they make it themselves. It was amazing. And then last but not least, we sat down for lunch, and they had a whole bunch of leftovers. She was so embarrassed because they were planning to make this a leftover lunch, and they didn't know I was coming. So they had fresh chicken biryani, but everything else was leftover. So I got to sample so many different curries that she had. There's like curd curry, which is primarily Kerala curry, which is so good. It's like curd, it's like a milk base, and then curry. And they had this like sweet and sour curry, which was so good, made with okra. And then just like so many different things. And then for dessert we had this like almost candied kind of jackfruit. So jackfruit is no longer in season, but it's basically this yellow fruit that is native to India, and there's a point in the season when there's so much of it that people almost pay you to take jackfruit off their hands because they just have so much. And now it's rare because it's out of season, but out of season they candy it or such, and so they brought them out just for me. They don't get it very often. It's from a neighbor. So I got to try that. They had some pickled lime skins, which were really good. They weren't as spicy as they like them, but they said, oh, all the more better because you'll be able to handle it. And yeah, I can't believe this is 15 minutes long, 15 and a half minutes long, so I'm not going to talk much longer, but it was a wonderful day and I'm so exhausted. He also showed me they have a rooftop garden and just about any tree you can think of: mango, lime, banana, guava. They have tomatoes and onions and carrots and beets and so many Indian vegetables that you can't even think of here, and they have such a small plot of land and so many plants. It's so funny. He's just like naming all these off and I was just like, you could have like a museum of like Indian botany here, and he was just laughing. So if any of you come to visit, we're gonna go there because there's so many plants to see, and they're all into like growing their own stuff, and so they hate buying stuff at the market, especially if it has preservatives, so they really only buy like really necessities or like treats for their grandkids and stuff. So such a sweet couple, Ben and VG. I'm hoping that you guys will get to hear more about them because I hope to get to spend a lot of time with them. So yeah, anyways, I hope you like my outfit. As I told you in my previous video, I was planning to wear this to church today, and I did, and I really like it. So yeah, that's an update on me. I'm gonna rest, put all of this stuff away, and then there's another church service at 6 for on-campus students, so I'm gonna go to that at 6 and hopefully catch up on a couple other things like some reading and writing that I want to do, and yeah, then get ready for another awesome week. So thanks for listening. Sorry it's so long, but I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.